Luris, Ginger Brute. All counters go into Ginger Brute. Take action. All attack. Bam! Oh my goodness. The Ozolith with Ginger Brute is sweet. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and we're playing Mecha Godzilla here, which is actually the crystalline giant. If you've seen it, it's the one that looks like that little picture. It's hard to see, but at the beginning of your combat, you choose a counter at random that crystalline giant doesn't have from among it, and it's either flying counter, first strike counter, death touch, hexproof, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, vigilance, or a +1/+1 counter. We're also playing the Ozolith in this deck because it is busted with things like Still Overseer. We're playing all the artifact creatures here, and Still Overseer, you could put a +1/+1 counter on each artifact creature you control, and then basically if everything dies, we get to bring back a Stone Cold Serpent just before combat. We get to put all of the counters that were on all of our creatures onto the battlefield here, and so we're playing things like Corridor Monitor. That's why we're splashing into blue because we want to play Corridor Monitor. When it enters the battlefield, you untap target artifact, which is obviously Still Overseer, so they can put more counters onto all of our creatures. Because we're playing so many artifacts, we might as well throw in all the glitters as well, because it works great with Stonecoil Serpent, which has trample and protection from multicolor, which is relevant oftentimes, as well as it kind of has protection from Heartless Act to an extent. They can't just remove enough counters to kill it, which is bad. But then we also have Ginger Brute, which can't be blocked this turn except for creatures with haste. There's not a ton of creatures out there with haste, and so this is oftentimes just pay one to give it unblockable. And when it's like an 11/11 or 12/12, it's pretty big and it's going to win games. I decided to go ahead, because we're already in blue and white, to splash in 3 Teferis. I had like more Mystic Forges, and I decided that was a little too expensive for what we're trying to go for, and it's not quite as fun. And also because we're wanting to play Mecha Godzilla in here, Luris typically in this deck is really good as your companion, but because we already had 3 drops that we want to be playing in this, and I want to be playing more copies of Luris itself, rather than just the one here, because it's nice to hit multiple times in a game. It's so amazing because during each of your turns, you may cast 1 permanent spell with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard from your graveyard to the battlefield. Anyway, and so we get an all that glitters back on the battlefield. We get a Still Overseer again. We get to get our Stonecoil Serpent or something like that. I'm actually not sure how Stonecoil Serpent works, because you get to cast it. Yeah, it's the same as like Hydroid Krasis. You can actually recast the Hydroid Krasis for X whatever, because the card is converted mana cost 2 or less. But when you cast it, you can make it bigger if you want to. So I mean, like, there's some really cool things you can do with Luris here, which are really fun and powerful. We have 3 glass caskets just because there are enough things there. I've also been debating, and maybe, let's drop 1 glass casket right now, because I was thinking about this and bringing in what's the white enchantment? Can't think of it all of a sudden. By the way, I love this format here. It's at 4 converted mana cost. Conclave Tribunal. There we go. We'll grab 1 Conclave Tribunal, because we do have lots of creatures in the early game sometimes, and that hits more than just creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less. We can also hit, other planeswalkers, whatever we need to. So anyway, let's go ahead with this deck. Oh, also in the colorless land, because we're playing so many colorless things, I figured we can sacrifice, lose a few other lands here. And if you can pay 3, tap this, draw a card, activate this only if you have a creature power 4 or greater. We tend to have that pretty easily with the Still Overseer going off, or with Mecha Godzilla getting a counter. So like, it's not always going to happen, but when it does, being able to draw cards is super nice. So that's one other card from Ikoria that is amazing in this deck. So let's go ahead and jump to the gameplay, see how this one does for us, and yeah, wish me luck. Up against Fizz here. All that glitters, Ginger Brute into all that glitters seems really good, so we're gonna go ahead and keep this. I mean, hopefully we hit other creatures along the way. The land base is pretty nice for what we're running as well. Luris as well. Hateful Eidolon's a card that we like. Splashing into black wouldn't be bad for what we're doing. Pass the turn, can't give it unblockable just yet. We're drawing way too many lands for a 22 land deck. I was kind of hoping we wouldn't hit any more lands and hit a lot more action. No blocks, take 1, lifelink, ouchies. Still Overseer. We are going to put Still Overseer in front of all that glitters, because it's better. No attacks, pass turn. Lots of enchantments. This could actually, like, an Ephemia deck with all of the enchantment type of things in the early game, with Luris as a companion, would be actually busted. Okay, there's all the glitters. Yeah, they're doing the thing. No blocks. We'll take it. Fortunately, their stuff gets lifelink as well. Double Still Overseer. I think I need to get all the glitters out just to start blocking, because we're not winning the race here. Let's go ahead and scry. Try to hit something better, something good. Not land. Mecha Godzilla. If it gets Death Touch or First Strike or whatever, this could actually be very powerful for us. So we're gonna go ahead and keep that. Trample's also not terrible. We could put the other Still Overseer now. We can take one more, because I think we're not going to die from a hit for the next turn. So get out Still Overseer and pass the turn. Okay, we bring out Luris. You get it for a massive hit again. Shocks that in. Intriguing. I wonder where they're shocking that in. No blocks. Down to 11. Killing things isn't our best move necessarily now either. Fable Passage. I want to get down to all that glitters as well here, but we get to make these guys really big here. So Mecha Godzilla, I'm actually going to put a +1/+1 counter on him right now, so that he doesn't so he gets something else from the random counter that he gets. Go ahead and activate this. More white mana. And I could get in with Ginger Brute. I think that we need to play defensive and then overwhelm them with the board. We know they're not going to have board wipes or anything like that in their deck. Death Touch. All right, so we got a Death Touch Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, we'll go ahead and block. We can't take too many more hits. They get to draw cards, bring stuff back with Luris. We'll go ahead and put a counter onto it. It's a 5/5. Hopefully this gets lifelink. If this gets lifelink, trample, things like that, maybe hexproof. Ooh, hexproof would be sweet. And we can throw this all that glitters onto it. Their Heartless Axe can't be doing very much anymore, because all of our stuff has counters on them. And they can't be playing much else. Oh no, it's only permanent cards. So they could have board wipes still in their deck. These the companion stuff it's very intriguing. All right, Hateful Eidolon comes back. Yep. Pass to my turn. Teferi. I want to get all that glitters out here, so all that glitters onto the Mecha Godzilla. Ginger Brute can get unblockable, which is very big and important, but I think this will be better. Okay, it's a Fairy Time Raveler.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
We could bounce Luris. If they don't hit land, they can't play it and an all that glitters. We also get to swing in for a ton here. So we actually bounce Luris here. They might sacrifice Alseed. Life's Bounty. Okay, yeah, they do sack there. That's fine. We don't get to draw a card that way. What do we get here? Flying. Okay. All right, we know they're getting an all that glitters back. There's the 1-mana spell that also kills things with that are tapped. We have to start putting pressure on them, though. They get to gain so much life next turn. Pass the turn. They also don't have that many enchantments anymore, though. So, like, if they put this on there, our guys can block this and kill it just fine. They get to draw cards, gain life. but I think that that's okay. Mystic's Forge for next turn to start playing a bit more. Opponent scoops it up. All right. I was gonna say, I think that we win the grindy matchup, especially because this may get lifelink. It may get, you know, I don't think double strike was a trigger word. I think that they actually talked about that in one of the articles where like it was supposed to be, but then it wasn't. Let's fix our thing there. Okay, we're good. Up against Toast. Bring it on, Toast. We don't have white mana. Oh, this is a little bit interesting. I think we mulligan for a better hand. Yeah. Still Overseer, Corridor Monitors seems pretty good. Keeping that. Dropping a land here. I don't really want to thin our deck of lands because we do want to hit lands. And we have the colors that we want. So, I mean, I guess we drop the Fable Passage. Okay, Luris, right? So this is the sacrifice deck. Tapped. So getting an All That Glitters onto a Luris is really nice too because the lifelink is very crucial sometimes. What we're hoping for is still Overseer into Mecha Godzilla into Corridor, like double Corridor Monitor. If we hit all of our lands, that'd be sweet. Oh, with Priest of the Forgotten Gods. What can we even do against the Priest of the Forgotten Gods? Still Overseer definitely dies. I mean, we can hope they don't have it, but Whisper Squad grabs something. Like, I don't even know if we can win from this setup. We can hope that they don't care to kill our Corridor Monitor. Yay. Yeah, so like they could have just paid 2 mana, get out Whisper Squad, for sure get the Priest of Forgotten Gods, Killer Still Overseer. They get 2 more mana, play things like Luris. Yeah, I think that we're just done for here. I don't know if we can, and we can bounce Priest of Forgotten Gods with Teferi, so that gives us like an extra turn. That's a chance. We'll drop the other Corridor Monitor. I'm going for, I don't even know what we're going for here. They get to sacrifice. I don't think we have a shot anymore. Like, honestly, okay, Glass Casket. We have Glass Casket in our hand, or in our deck, but we have to remove the Priest of Forgotten Gods in a way that they're not going to just be able to replay it with Luris. They get Luris out here if they want. Dude, this deck is good. Luris is super powerful. Priest of Forgotten Gods is really powerful in this format. Oh, and if they have like double cat here, ugh, brutal. Another Priest of Forgotten Gods. Now what do we do? I think this is just like the, unless we were on the play and had a bunch of things, we don't really have a shot. Yeah, so I mean, still Overseer. I'm gonna play one more turn of this just to see if there's any chance. I just want to see how bad things get for us here on their side. Rakdos Sack seems really powerful though. They can bring back Luris and Whisper Squad, sacrifice 2 things, kill our Still Overseer. We take 2, they draw a card, maybe play something else, or they can bring out another Whisper Squad. Yeah, okay. Seems like good stuff to do. I mean, they could also, if they had the black mana, they could have the Croxa again as well. I think Whisper Squad is good here. Yeah, I just don't think that we have a shot. That's actually good to know that this deck hurts so bad against just Priest of Forgotten Gods. But, I mean, there's a lot of decks in Best of One where if you just don't have... Alright, yeah. Good game. We can't get out of that lock. They get to just bring back Whisper Squad. They have enough mana to then bring out a second one. Do it again, and by the time that we get to play cards that actually stay on the battlefield, we're way too far behind. Up against Sippily. Bring it on, Sippily. Ooh, Shadow Spear, Ginger Brute. Still, oh, this is the hand. This is gorgeous. Ginger Broody. Swing in. Down to 19. Pass the turn. Steel Overseer. Pass the turn. I think I'm just going to go for the Shadow Spear to start getting in some life gain damage. In case there's a board wipe, I feel like that's the better play here. So Shadow Spear. Equip onto the Brute. We'll go ahead and activate. There's no reason to wait until end of combat. Okay, down to 3, or sorry, down to 15, pass the turn, up to 23. And now Shadow Spear lets just about anything become a threat. Like if we equip it onto a Stonecoil Serpent that's massive, that's great. Yeah, do you take the Steel Overseer or the Ginger Brute? That's a tough choice. Oh man, okay. If we're up against just straight removal, we're gonna be in trouble. Quarter Monitor. Okay, so this is what we do. We play out our hand. We go Stonecoil Serpent X2. We hold full control. Here, just make sure we have a stop there. Okay, so auto pay, resolve. As this happens, no, we should be able to have a, okay, so hold full control. So target this, now we tap, okay, target this, submit one before it resolves. There we go. Sorry, I always, they have the targeting of things happen, I feel like earlier than it should be. Maybe that's just me. All right, pass the turn, no attacks. Yeah, I'd rather get more counters onto things than attack. Get a bigger yeah, man. All right, well, we will activate here so that we get to draw a card. We get Luris into Steel Overseer again. And now Shadow Spear into Luris is pretty nice just because a 4 damage dealing thing is not bad. We'd like to hit in all that glitters.
I have learned much.
We brought back Shatter the Skies. All right, well, this is what we do. All that glitters. If we had land, we could equip this here and draw a card. Getting in for a big hit doesn't matter because we don't get Luris back. But making him big enough to draw a card is nice, at least. The question is, do we go for Tamiyo here or not? I guess so. I'd like to get more damage towards her face, but we can't deal with Tamiyo if we keep getting Shatter the Skies, so gotta kill that.
Learned all I can here.
And we're hoping for creature, all that glitters, I guess. Pass the turn. We lose the things from the graveyard. I mean, I guess we could have played him out just to play him out. Elspeth Conquers Death. Well, crap. Okay, resolve. Fairy.
Let's slow this down.
They get back Tamiyo here. The only thing they could target with our stuff is to Fairy. If we hit Banishing Light, they get Steel Overseer. They're also just going to be shattering the skies anyway. So, I mean, bounce Banishing Light, I guess. Draw a card. We want to draw a card here. That's the most important thing. Okay, Stonecoil Serpent, all that glitters is kind of nice. Let's just equip this to Ginger Brute. I guess we technically get 1 more point of damage through life gain if we swing like this, so activate ability. Down to 11, pass the turn. Up to 28. Bant Control. Oh, that's a Nissa. That kills our Teferi. And then they get to play Vanishing Light. Oh yay. Or Shatter the Skies.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Like they've got to hit Ginger Brute though. So all that glitters. We just know that there's a Shatter of the Skies coming. Everything costs more. I mean, we can get a big hit at Nissa. Alright, so play Quarter Monitor. Resolve. Target here. We can make it a 4/4 swing at Nissa. Then we can draw a card with Shatters Skies. And we have a good blocker. So, I mean, like, this is kind of an answer. A little bit. We're not overplaying what's on board. I'm almost debating if we ought to start going more towards their face. Because if we get to keep something with trample and like, so if they don't go for Shadow the Skies, all that glitters might just be enough to win the game. All right, so they do block. Okay, yeah, I think going face is a little bit better. Pass the turn. I'm assuming board wipe then. They get to bring back Tameo, get to bring back the board wipe after they use it. Oh my gosh.
I would like to ask about any
Dude, that is a good lock. Tameo in a control deck is actually ridiculous. So no, stop it. Luris. Luris is not... That's pretty good. I don't think it's enough to beat what's going on over here, but...
The past is never forgotten.
Harness the elements.
Elspeth Conquers Death just kills Luris. Oh, and they have Dream Trawler. Alright, I think that this one's over. I mean, you gotta see that we were still fairly resilient in this deck. Like, I think that if they were playing, like, Esper Control, maybe a little bit better shot. The fact that they were guaranteed to get back Shadow of the Skies and stuff each time was brutal. I actually really like in this deck. I think that going these colors might be better because you get Uro, which is just a good finisher as well, and it ramps and it gains you life and draws cards. That's pretty good in a control deck, even if you don't get to hold up this counter spell on turn 3. I think it's pretty good. Luris gets hit by this. Stonecoil Serpent. That's technically not multicolored. It's colorless. Honestly, I think this is our best shot. So we go for a massive Stonecoil Serpent. X6. It has reach, which means we can kill Dream Trawler. It's not 3 converted mana cost, so it doesn't die to Elspeth Conquers Death. It also has protection from Dream Trawler, so the Dream Trawler won't even be able to deal damage to gain lifelink. So I mean, Stonecoil Serpent here is pretty sweet. Like, this is legitimately our best potential card. It dies to Banishing Light. It dies to... Which... Do they mill over anything else? But then if we can all the glitters onto it... Well, if we hit land, we can Luris... It has to be white mana. We can Luris all the glitters from a graveyard. Oh no, we never played it, right? Oh, they're attacking in. They get to draw a card here, but it's completely useless. It's multicolored, it won't gain life. It has reach. Shame Scoop, please give the Shame Scoop. Okay. They didn't even create a creature. No, oh wait, Teferi can't block it.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
Oh, they bounced Banishing Light though.
Don't worry, I got it.
Ah, man. Come on. All right, I guess if we draw another Stone Cold Serpent, we're still somewhat in the game.
Nature's true power.
A little bit. Man, we actually had it there though. I'm really frustrated.
I know this.
Hydra Krasis. They have another Shadow of the Skies in the graveyard. They can grab it for next turn. Yay. Luris. This is a way to bring back our Stone Cold Serpent. I just know that they have Shadow of the Skies for next turn, so I mean it doesn't do anything. I mean it kills all their lands. Yay for us, I guess. Emblems, Nissa, these guys are indestructible. That's fine though, to an extent. They lose a lot of mana, but they gain a lot for the next turn. A lot. Shatter, all right, they had the Shatter in hand. Glass Casket.
Here goes nothing.
We get to steal one of the indestructible lands. That's at least something. To the bottom. Oh, did I have a chance to draw cards with that and didn't do it? Only if you have a creature with power 4 or greater. Pass the turn. I mean, we got rid of their win condition. All right, we did not get rid of their win condition in that game.
We will not fail.
We technically have one more turn to find Stormclaw Serpent. It is going to be big enough to get through indestructible guys.
The land shall conquer you.
But with being able to grab Shadow of the Skies from the graveyard, I think we're done for. I just want to see if we have Stormclaw Serpent off the top, it'll at least be fun to know that we had it. All That Glitters. All right, well, let's All That Glitters. Good game. We'll let them hit in for the win. You gotta have fun while you're doing this. If you're gonna lose, you want to lose in a good, fun way. I'm kind of surprised how. Oh, nice. He bounces his own thing. Gonna make it go longer. That's just rude. He wants me to concede instead of getting in for the swing victory. Okay, that was actually a little bit rude, but also hilarious at the same time. Like I appreciate what you did there. Jerk. Up against Dell, 98%. Let's see if we can get back into the numbers. I think it only takes 2 wins here. This is a sweet hand, absolutely. Ginger Broody, Stormclaw Serpent, which if it dies from the early game, Luris brings it back a bigger. So, go Brute. Yeah, good old Brute. Fast turn. Corridor Monitor, we basically just hold on to until we have a Steel Overseer. They're kind of useless otherwise. It's kind of sad, but true. Emergent Zone. Back in. I do like the Emergent Zone to be able to occasionally flash in like our Luris on the end step. It's only on each of our turns that we get to cast. So I was thinking on each turn that would be kind of fun if you had things with flash, but I guess that makes sense. All right, we're up against the combo, the Bant combo, which is really good. Wolf Willow Haven as well. I'm not sure I like the Wolf Willow Havens. They're more protected against board wipes, but you have less creatures to hit from your mills, which, I mean, you only really want to hit good things anyway. So it makes sense, I suppose. Oh, we don't have double white mana out for the Slurus. I made a mistake. I should have been playing white mana out. Well, we don't want to hit any more lands. Let's go ahead and get in with Ginger Broody. Pass the turn. I could just trade off with Stonecoil Serpent. I think that we're going to be a little bit too behind on this one, though. And we're only running 22 lands in this deck. Why do we keep hitting so many lands? Ooh, that's a good 2-drop thing. It's not as good as Paradise Druid. White mana. Remember, white mana. Okay. I mean, I guess it's a 2/2. Pass my turn. We're not drawing the right things here. Swing with both. We get to get Lurrus to cast a big Stonecoil Serpent for next turn, and I actually kind of want him in the graveyard. Yeah, these corridor monitors are feeling terrible without the Steel Overseer. Pass the turn. I could have cast it for 0. That is actually a fun thing you can do, is just a bunch of 0 cost stuff with Luminous Broodmoth and some trigger for whenever you hit it. All right, let's see how big their combo is. This is probably the biggest downside of this deck, is that if we don't have as good removal for these kinds of combo decks. We don't have counter spells, which maybe like Essence Capture or like counter, put a counter, a +1/+1 counter on our creatures isn't a bad idea. They exile it with Charming Prince? Okay, yeah. Yeah, being able to do that with Charming Prince is nice. Do they hit nothing? Ooh, all right. When we have our entire deck to play with, basically now. All that glitters, Corridor Monitor. The Ozolith is also fun. How many all the glitters do we have? I think I'd prefer to get life gain something. We'll go ahead and swing it with Ginger Brute. Why not? I like playing the Quarter Monitor here too, because it's something that we can play and have it hopefully block big things. Oh, they have the Kagla. There's the Brute. But they get to swing in and destroy any of our stuff. We'll take it this turn, no blocks. These guys flying over the top it's actually pretty good too. I just don't. I mean, technically they're not as good as Paradise Druid, but it's not bad. All right, yeah, good game. We're done here. We done here. Up against Fighting Fish Brewery. Lurrus, but no white mana, but we have an amazing early game, so we're going to go ahead and keep it. I really like Mecha Godzilla with the Ozolith. That just sounds really fun. I like the Shadow Spear here. So for next turn, we get to play 2 permanent cards that are out, which grow all the glitters if we do hit white mana. So, I mean, hitting the white mana is going to be important. Ooh. Stonecoil Serpent just to be able to swing in. Ozolith, Shadow Spear. Down to 18 past the turn. I'd rather get Stonecoil Serpent up a little bit more, like higher, bigger, especially with Shadow Spear out. Leafkin Druid. Okay. Shock this in. Mechagodzilla. We can already give it lifelink and trample. It doesn't get counters again though. First strike is nice. Okay, lifelink, or yeah, lifelink, trample, first strike, 4/4. We can put that onto other stuff. Risen Reef. Okay. Man, with the blink deck, this is gonna be so good. Oh man, that's busted. Oh, that's gonna be. This is gonna hurt a lot. I think we win by getting a massive Ozolith creature at some point, though. We have to have 2 to put it there. I can pay 2 here. We don't have to put the Shadow Spirit on just yet. I think we actually go aggressive. So 4 counters here. What does this have? Trample as well. Okay, swing in. I'm assuming they block the Ginger Brew with Leafkin Druid. That's fine. It don't bother me none. Okay. Down to 15. So now if anything dies, or if this ever dies somehow to board wipe or whatever, which unfortunately I don't think their deck is going to be board wiping. I think basically they play out all the elementals and then Thassa's Oracle. They just draw a bunch of cards. They get so many triggers off of elementals hitting the battlefield. And as long as they get to turn 5, they get to blink everything back, get so many more triggers. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Next turn. I've not seen this yet, and so I'm really liking the idea of this deck. All that glitters. There we go. Well, I mean, we did our thing, right? Which one's it better to put it onto? Protection from multicolored is something. First strike though. All right, yeah, we'll go on the first striker. I mean, this is big. Swing in here. The all that glitters hit there was huge, huge. And if this does die somehow, we get Luris to bring back all that glitters. So land off the top. Oh, we have to have white mana for it. Four or 5 flyer. So Yorion says whenever he enters the battlefield, exile any number of non-land permanents you own and control. Then return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the end step. So basically they get to bounce all these things. They get to come back to the beginning of the end step and have so much many triggers, typically. I mean, now, I don't think that's going to be strong enough. I think they have to have board wipe of some sort, and if we get to play Luris into Ginger Brute, put all of these counters onto the Ginger Brute and swing in, that should be enough for lethal. They shatter the skies, and we get the all that glitters back, so that's kind of nice. Ozolith gets everything. Fortunately not a haste counter, but Ginger Brew is enough. Okay, Luris, Ginger Brute, all counters go into Ginger Brute, take action, all attack, bam! Oh my goodness, the Ozolith with Ginger Brute is sweet. Okay, that was really cool. All right, so I mean, not the best win rate with this one, but we also ran into pretty funky situations, which that's gonna happen, of course. But overall, when the deck performed well, like when it did well, it was really, really good. It's a very much an all-in aggro, if you hit the right things you win the game type of deck, which I mean honestly that's how a lot of things are right now in this format. I think if you're wanting to play something different than that, you go into best of 3 and you try to make this, you know, have a good sideboard to interact well with all the different combo decks and things like that. But right now we're playing best of 1 because it's really fun and it's really enjoyable, and it's a really nice way to not spend an hour in a game. Instead you're only playing like 15-minute games, stuff like that. I mean, how long were our games there? This is the nice thing also about MTG Assistant. I love it, is that we get to see how long each game was. Yeah, our longest one was 13 minutes. And I really enjoy being able to play games like that. And so overall, I think this deck is really powerful, really fun. I do think that you need to build towards the meta game, which maybe this needs to have a little bit different build for that. And honestly, we're still trying to figure out what the meta game is. Maybe this deck does get to a point where it's dangerous enough. Maybe we just need to have a bit more like a bit more consistency, somehow maybe drawing some more cards, things like that, to make it bigger, better, more awesome. But overall, I really enjoyed the deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.